Okay, so in this question, it's given us two functions. F of x is equal to a quadratic, and g of x is a linear graph, okay? So all we're going to do in this question is evaluate based on what they've told us to substitute in for x, in which function. And with one little catch, question F's a little bit different, which we'll get to when we get there. But for now, let's just evaluate what for y, given whatever x they're telling us to substitute in the function notation. So for a, they're asking us to evaluate the f function, f of x, when x is equal to -1. So we're going to substitute, -1 squared plus 3 times -1 minus 5. Okay, and we're going to see 1 minus 3 minus 5 should be -3 take away 5 would be -8, and then plus 1 would be -7. And that would be the evaluation when x is equal to -1. Okay, so question B is asking us to evaluate when x is equal to 0, the f function, f of x of 0. So 0 squared plus 3 times 0 minus 5. This is a unique point. F of 0 is -5. That's what we call the y-intercept. Sorry, I was going to do it. Okay, this is the y-intercept, which is when x equals 0. That's going to come into play later. Okay, C. Question C is asking us to evaluate the g function, g of x at 1/2, right? And so we're going to see that's equal to 2 times 1/2 minus 3. 2 times 1/2 is 1 minus 3 should be -2 when g is 1/2. Okay, remember the function notation is just a mapping. It's like a table of values, right? It's keeping track of, x inputs and y outputs, right? Question D. Question D asks us to evaluate the f of x function when x is 2b. And then remember, whatever it tells you to substitute in is what you're substituting in and evaluating as much as you can. So we're going to get 2b squared plus 3 times 2b minus 5. Okay, so we're going to get, remember that the squared goes on everything in there, so we get 4b squared plus 6b minus 5. That will be the evaluation when x is 2b. Okay, for question E, we're going to evaluate when x is 1 minus 4a in the g of x function. So 2 times 1 minus 4a minus 3. Okay, and it's important that you are always, whenever you substitute in, you are using brackets because the 2 needs to be distributed to both terms on the inside of the bracket. Okay, so we're going to get 2 minus 8a minus 3. So 2 minus 3, if I were to write this in descending order, is going to be 2 minus 3 is -1. Okay, so the g, and if you wanted to, it doesn't say fully simplify, but if it did, I might be inclined to remove that negative that's there, right? Factor it out if it did say fully simplify. So that would be the evaluation when x is 1 minus 4a, and when we evaluated in the g of x function.